Hi folks, it's John from lastchanceautorestore.com. This is something we're quite proud of. It's an actual barn find, and it's very, very rare. So we just picked it up, and you can see obviously this is not staged. It's on our trailer. It's tied down in 4 spots. We just pulled in with it, and it's something I'm really, really proud of. So what this is, it's quite rare for today. This is a 1928 Chevrolet 4-door sedan. And in 1928, they call this, refer to it as, some people will nickname it the AB, which means body. So it's a Chev AB, but it's known as the National. That's what this car is called. So it's a 4-door sedan. Some of the things on this car are 1 year only. So this vehicle has been sitting in a barn for 51 years, and we were able to obtain it from the gentleman. And I'm quite confident we're going to be able to get it to run and hopefully also drive. So stay tuned later on, because what we're going to do is we'll just basically do a brief walk around on it. It is a great candidate to do a proper ground up restoration on. Some people really like the patina look, and we'll look into the possibility of checking out the engine, getting everything to work, and possibly having it where it could be roadworthy with the patina. But I think really the car deserves a full restoration. So I'm not an expert in the 1928 Chevrolet, but there's some things that make this kind of unique, and it's a 1 year only. The one is this crest on the front, and I think the camera person can probably pick it up. So you've got the traditional blue with the white outline Chevrolet bow tie, but you'll notice the wings on either side of that medallion. And from all the research I've done so far in the honeycomb grille, this is 1 year only, and it's quite unique. So to the best of my knowledge, they don't reproduce that medallion, so that's kind of a neat touch. There's 2 different styles of rad caps. This has the basic rad cap. There's another one that's raised up a little bit taller. This looks like it was more of the base car, not what they call the Landau. So what we'll do is we'll come down and we'll basically just do a brief walk around, and I'll share with you the engine. So a couple of things that makes this unique in 1928. One I mentioned is the medallion. The other is the hood and the wheelbase. The wheelbase, depending on who you speak to, it's either 3 inches or 4 inches longer in wheelbase than the previous Chevrolet models. The hood is 3 inches longer. And the reason why it's 3 inches longer in 1928 is because they were ramping up for 1929 to have a straight 6-cylinder available. So this is the last year for the standard 4-cylinder engine, and then a year newer, this vehicle had the option for $10 more, a 6-cylinder option. So this is the last year for the 4-cylinder, and it has the longer hood. As we come down the side, on the passenger side of the vehicle, you can see the front wheel. I'm amazed at the condition of the wooden spokes. The hub and rivets are in really nice shape. The spokes are outstanding, and even the steel runners that the spokes set in and the rim that gets clamped, they normally rot out, and they're in exceptional condition. So we're really happy with the overall condition of the wheels, and all 4 are like this, and we'll basically point that out as we walk around the vehicle. All of the metal is all original. You see our little cowl lights. This ring is damaged. I think they reproduced the ring, but the original lights are on both sides of the cowl. I think the camera can probably pick it up. You can see there's remnants of a decal, and it's too bad it doesn't show the year. It's scrubbed off, but it's an Ontario sticker, passenger vehicle with a registration number. I'm assuming that was a licensing type of sticker as opposed to a license plate. So you can see it's the 4-door sedan model. I'm amazed it has the original fenders, original running boards, and the original rear fender. So everything you see is all original metalwork. This is believed to be the original green paint. So this vehicle, this Chevrolet in 1928, would have had black fenders, black running boards, black rear fenders, and the black vinyl top. And then the car itself, you could order it with different colors, and this one was the green. So you can see we have all of our latches. We've got the really neat suicide doors. It's incredible, the metal. I think the camera can pick it up. Other than surface rust, It is absolutely incredible. When you know, I can't get it through my head that it's a 1928 vehicle, and we have cars, you know, that have not been on the road too long that are in worse condition than the metal of these doors. It just, the bottoms of the doors, the sides of the panels where the metal skin folds over, it's absolutely exceptional condition. These door panels appear to be the original material, kind of a velvet look to them. The detail around the windows, you can see we have all the original wood window frames with the original flathead screws, the original felt, original glass. So it's really, really nice. And then we can see on the side, now we have a couple of corrosion holes in here. You can see where the metal is pitted. You can see the wooden floor. Obviously there's some rot. But these work really well. Between the wood and the steel, it's not a crazy repair or restoration. It's fairly straightforward style. Have the wooden plank below the seat. You can see all the springs and seats are all there, all original. You can see the dash. You've got the original gauges in the dash, the original steering wheel, the wooden column, the gear shifter. It's a 3-speed manual. And then we've got our parking brake and our pedals down on the floor. In the upgraded models, there's a trim piece here, and you can see it's a different color. And what they did is they would match that insert. So this insert or embossed part was painted to match the color that was ordered with the interior. So you can see the dashboard, the outside of the dash and the body of the car was a darker green, and then this was a lighter green band as an accent that went across the dash face, and this always matched the material of the seats and the door panels. You can see all of the wooden slats and the ribbons going across for the vinyl are all there and intact, so it's in incredible condition also. You can see our posts are in good shape, but then we have nothing holding this post, which is very common. There's normally a wooden peg system in here that is set into the floor and pegged in. So this does move, but this is quite an easy fix when we repair or replace the floor. In the back seat, you can see we have the spare tire and the spare tire rim. The seat frame is there. All of the glass is intact, and all of the trim and all of the wooden trim all around all of the windows are fully intact and as original. So we're really impressed with that too. It's quite a nice find. And then you look at the detail, you can see these little maple leaves that they have in the trim. This one being a Canadian version, you can see where this dial, and this has been 51 years, folks. We haven't lubricated it. And the hardware works. The window goes up and down. Like, it's just, I'm trying to contain myself because it's really neat when you have a vehicle of this vintage sitting for this long in a barn, and all of the mechanics to work on it. We struggle with cars that are roughly 20 years old, that window regulators don't go up and down, and here we're dealing with a vehicle that was built in 1928. So all of our trim pieces are here with the little maple leaf medallions. So these are all the original pieces, the original map pocket for the rear passengers. So it's in quite nice shape. All the metal looks quite nice on the doors. The hinges are in exceptional condition, and there's no serious damage. They used to over flex in the body, and the panels on this are just great. So as we come down the passenger side, just as the condition of the front spoked wheel, we're looking at the back passenger wheel, and the same deal. We don't have dry rot, we don't have splitting, and we don't have rotten steel. So this is in really nice condition. Obviously our tires and tubes would need to be replaced. This year, 1928, it's the first year for what they called four-wheel mechanical brakes, and I'll show you there's a medallion in the back, which is quite nice. We've got all of the original trim on the outside of the glass. As we come around the back of the car, there's a couple of nice features, and I think we can probably just get right up onto the trailer or closer. The fuel tank, we've got our filler on the one side, and then we have what they call the sight line on the other side, and you can see here where we're at empty. So there's a dial or a gauge there for the fuel, and the fuel tank at this point looks to be quite solid. This is something that's unique and rare also, and it's this back light. So instead of having individual lights, they had the rear light here. The red lenses are missing, but they reproduce those. This shaped horn-like bracket in the back is a spare tire cover. Because it's hollow, the spare rim and tire slide over and get fastened onto this ring. So you've got a spare, and then it's clamped on with one of the holes. You can see this back panel, all of the trim pieces are in exceptional condition. There's no body damage to any of the steel. You can see the rubber seal between the flat glass and the panel is all dry, but they reproduce that seal. But this is the original glass from 1929, and a couple little dings, but with the exception of a couple little dings, this is extraordinary condition. A lot of them were heavily damaged in the rear. You can see we have the original bumperettes, both on the passenger side and the driver's side. The coating or the chrome-like finish obviously is gone, but these can be re-chromed. And this little triangular piece is extremely rare to find. I'm not sure if the camera can pick it out, but it says 4 wheel and then brakes. So this is typically, this was in red, this cast medallion. It's riveted to the fender. So this fender would have been painted black. The body is green, and then this is a bright red with the black lettering, and it was featured for this year's, the first year, 1928. Because it's for the first time they had braking to all 4 wheels. It was referred to as 4-wheel mechanical braking. So it's another neat feature that's unique to this model. As we come down or up the driver's side, you can see once again the exceptional condition of the fender and the body. Some people refer to that as the cab, and it's in exceptional condition. The hinges are wonderful, and we have this great patina. And once again, it appears to be the original factory green finish. Not much evidence of the black though. The black has pretty much been sun-bathed off. And as we look at this wheel, obviously the same as the others, we have little bit of cracking, but these would a nice easy recondition if we wanted to retain these wooden spoked wheels. We have one of the center hubcaps. They reproduce these guys. In this year of vehicle, they also had the option of a dished steel rim that clamped in the same locations. And a lot of people replace these wooden spoked wheels when they rotted to the dished steel wheel. But it's quite nice to see these original hubs, and they appear to be in exceptional condition. As we come down the driver's side, very much like the passenger side, the post coming down that attaches to the wooden floor is dry rotted away, so the post moves. But all original glass. Running boards, you can see there's a couple of holes here, but very repairable. The original rocker panels, you can see the embossment, and there's no holes. And then on this cab, on the lower corner, it looks like we have a little spot here that's rusted through. That's the only point I can find that has rust through. And once again, it's a 1928, so it's incredible. We still have the original wiper motor. You can see it's exposed to the outside of the vehicle back in 1928. And then we have the old wiper. The rubber, unfortunately, is gone. You can see there's just a little tiny bit. But that's the original arm, original mechanism, and an original blade with just a little tiny bit of evidence of rubber left on it. And then, not to bore you again, but once again, exceptional condition of the wooden spokes, the steel rim, and the steel ring. And these are the Canadian Marathon tires, so I would suspect that these are original period correct wheels. There is a stamping we could probably do some research on, but the tubes are holding air, but they are weather cracked. These cars look really nice. If we're going to restore it back to original, they had a wide white wall option with this tire, and it looked quite nice. And then the engine is really nice to see. Just let that set up there. We haven't done anything to it. This is exactly the way we pulled it out of the barn. So we have our fuel system here, our fuel shut off, and then fuel supply and our carburetor and our wires and our spark plugs. So you can see everything is intact. Nothing has been altered with or modified. The steering, the pedals, the Delco Remy generator. I'm quite confident that when we do the research on the serial number and the part number, we'll find this is all authentic and original, numbers matching, which is quite a big deal. And you can see the back of the fan or the radiator, it's just a single blade. If I'm not mistaken, this 4-cylinder engine in 1928, I believe General Motors rated for 35 horsepower. So it's a screamer of an engine back in that period. And then something that's really neat, there's two things I'd like to point out. Number one is this ribbon with the nails. These are tack nails and the original material. You see there's some of it's missing here where the tack nail went, but this is all authentic. This is factory correct. Factory installed these and it was a cushion or a gasket that went between the painted surface of the cowl and the painted surface of the hood, and that's original. You can still see quite a bit of the green, and once again 1928. Something that I'm really impressed with, and I'm hoping the camera can pick it up, and that's our Fisher body plate. So we have our job number, and I think the camera can pick it up. It's 8150 is the job number, and then our body number is 3043, and it has a letter that I can't really read at this point, but quite nice. I think it's an A possibly, but we'll do some research and share with you. But it's incredible condition. Normally with these hoods, look at how nice everything moves and works. So original hood, original hinges, original rad cap, you know, just the condition of that. It's tarnished, but you know, we still have the cork, folks. The cork inside of the lid as the barrier. It's not all rotten and away, and then you can see all the fine threads. Nothing's burred or damaged, so it would be an exceptional piece to polish and clean. But for all those years and having all of the components with the vehicle, nothing is cross-threaded or damaged. Even our headlights, we've got our neat headlights. We have the original, I think it's Brown Universal. Yeah, it has the Brown Universal button on it, and then we have our original bulb and housing. So everything is intact, and we're really, really impressed with this. So just wanted to share with you, it's a real, you hear them every once in a while, barn find, and I always kind of, you know, wonder, is it really a barn find? Is the story accurate and true? And it is. It was, we did quite a bit of research on this vehicle. It was sitting in one building for 51 years. The client who owned this vehicle or purchased it 51 years ago literally drove it into the barn, parked it, and had the intentions of restoring it someday, and we were lucky enough to obtain this. So we're really proud of this find. This is something that we'll probably consider selling at some point. So Last Chance Auto Restore is known for our rotisserie ground-up restorations. A lot of times clients are looking for specific vehicles that they want to have restored, but they're not sure where to find one, how much to pay for one, and is the condition good enough to be restorable, and is it of a valuable project to purchase. So this one, as soon as I saw it and I found the pedigree on the vehicle, I told myself I had to have it. So our next step, we'll take it off the trailer. We'll take the next probably 3 to 5 days. We'll start to spray lubricant in all of the leverage and all the fittings. We'll lubricate everything up. We'll remove the spark plugs. We know that the engine rolls by hand, so we'll just lubricate everything up. We'll put a little bit of diesel fuel down each of the 4 cylinders. We're going to slowly turn the motor up over a little bit each day over a 3 to 5 day period. And then we'll change the oil. We'll put fresh oil in. We'll look at the carburetor and rebuild and clean it. And then we'll use a separate gas can, like a little jerry can. We'll give it a supply of fresh gas, and then what we'll do is we'll attempt to start it. So what we'll do is we'll share with you in an upcoming video as we continue with this project. And then it'll be really neat, because if you recall, about a year ago, one of our guys obtained a 1931 Ford Model A, and it sat for roughly 25 years. And after tinkering with it a few nights, the guys were able to get it running, and we drove it down. We have a dead-end road here We were able to drive it down the road and back, and we filmed it and shared it with some YouTube videos. So we'll probably do the same kind of thing with this. We'll treat it right. We're going to lubricate everything. We'll see if we've got compression with the engine. We'll try to get it going, and we'll share with you the progress as this continues. So this is a project vehicle, a true barn find, very, very rare. It's a 1928 Chevrolet sedan known as the National is the model. So I thank you for watching. I'm John from lastchanceautorestore.com.